Cruz MMA. Who is this? Is this Dominic Cruz?
No.
Oh, I was like, what the?
No, I know.
But yeah.
Brazil.
So okay, so we got Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. Poetan.
His Kryptonite.
AKA Alex Kryptonite Pereira versus Israel Superman Adesanya.
AKA Max Holloway versus Volkanovski.
Man, this is an interesting fight, man, because when somebody done beat you that many times, it's hard to act like they can't do it again. Because it ain't like it was just a one-time deal. Like, it happened more than once. And it was the same result more than once. And you was winning both fights.
I mean, I'm going to be real. The first fight, I think, they say Israel won the first fight, man, but they gave it to Alex on some stuff, man. So I think that's what Israel's going to try to do. He's going to try to outpoint him and he's going to try to, like, duplicate what he did in the first fight, man, and try to do it in the UFC.
That would be the worst game plan I've ever seen or heard of in my life from this dude. Now, we got to preface this by saying Israel is a champion. He's the style bender. One of the best technical strikers we've ever seen, because how many people can't stop getting hit at all? And a lot of times he don't get hit at all in general. And you got some people that can't stop getting hit. I ain't gonna call no names, but it's like, sheesh, man. But
or women,
yeah, them two. Amanda Lemos done put a few of them out. But the point is,
hey, I'm gonna be real. Alex got people. I was gonna make a video about this, but Alex got people leaving the middleweight division. Kamzat. You got people leaving. I dropped down to atom weight.
Man, Kamzat gonna drop down and fight Weili Zhang.
He dropped down to nucleus weight
to get mitochondria weight.
Well, he scared him out the division, man. It's like, man.
Nah, Paulo Costa did that. But anyway, but the point is, people have a beef with Israel, and the beef is he has a quote unquote boring style of fighting. But I'm gonna say this, man. I don't think it's necessarily boring, because the people he fighting is so dangerous. You can't make no mistakes against Yoel. You can't make no mistakes against Paulo. You know what I just thought about, bro? Are people overdoing the boring thing? Because realistically, nobody was calling him boring until after the Yoel fight, because Yoel didn't knock him out. Ain't that messed up?
They wanted him to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with Yoel, one of the hardest hitters of all time. You're boring.
When I really think about it, because
I think
hold on. He had the fight of the year with Kelvin Gastelum. Nobody said he was boring. Everybody was entertained by the Anderson Silva fight. He finished Derek Brunson, so nobody was calling him boring. It was not until Yoel didn't land that left hand that people started calling him boring. And then he finished Paulo. The boring talk came, you know when it happened? When he started talking crazy during the Marvin, and he didn't do none of that stuff he said.
It came when
Jan?
Huh?
The Jan Blachowicz fight that nobody really watched?
No, it came. It's not that. It's not Israel's performance. It's the fact that he say all this stuff before the fight.
But I'm saying
he talked a lot of noise before the Yoel fight, man.
No, but I'm saying he still wasn't considered boring until that particular fight. But he finished the next fight, and it was a good fight against Paulo. So I'm like,
but you get what I'm saying though? Like sometimes
but that's what I'm getting to. But I'm trying to figure out, when did they start calling him boring?
Yeah, I don't think it's a boring thing. I think it's
he finished Robert. He had a boring fight against Yoel, and he finished Paulo. Yeah. But you know what killed it? That's what I was getting. My point was, he does all this stuff, and I gotta read y'all the article. I'm gonna go find it. Hold on. Okay, so he said he's gonna make. Why do they word this like this, man? Israel Adesanya on the Alex Pereira fight. I want to make this a horror movie, and he doesn't do it. And this is why people are upset, because you saying all these things, you don't do it, but then we get this dude come over here with far less experience, and he's doing it. He got, out of 3 wins in the UFC, 2 of them are finishes. He got more wins in the UFC than by finish in his last 3 fights than Israel in his last 3 fights. And that's why, and Alex ain't even talking a whole lot. That's the crazy thing. And that's why people are starting to lose faith in Israel.
He already is talking 2 fights prior.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about against Israel.
But that's what I'm saying. But even outside of Israel, just in general, he's going for the knockout when he fight people. Like, even the fight against Bruno was a tough fight, but like, they was going at it. They was going to war. That was a good fight. If that was Israel fighting Bruno, which I know that fight wouldn't happen, but Israel would have just point fighted him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the frustrating thing. That's the beef people have with Israel. He gotta stop saying, and then all that, I'm gonna have you like Elsa, and you're gonna be frozen on the, like, what are you saying? I'm gonna leave you like, I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa or something. I'm like, dude, what are you?
That's just cheesy, man.
It is corny, and it was so bad on the countdown this morning when they premiered it. They showed that clip of him saying that after the fight with Alex watching, and they clipped that particular piece off. Remember when they had that fight? I told you, I said they're not gonna include that in the promo because that's corny. You gotta stop that, man. That's the stuff that's making people like lose faith and not really want to watch you, because he told us that with Jared Cannonier, I'm gonna make it look like Anderson Silva and Forrest Griffin. Came out there with the Undertaker thing, with the urn, didn't do nothing. I know you can't make no mistakes against Jared, but you knew you was fighting. You don't really get to say like, oh, he got 1-punch knockout power and I gotta be careful. Yeah, but you knew that when you signed the contract, you the one told us you was gonna make it look like Anderson Silva and Forrest Griffin. So I'm thinking you finna like, you know, duck and dodge and piece him up and put him to sleep. That's what you said you was gonna do. And you going out there fighting like a stand-up version of Carla Esparza. It's like, nobody really want to see that no more, man. And that's why I think a lot of people are rooting against him in this fight, because Alex is doing less talking and more walking, and people respect that more. Yeah. Even if Alex was to lose, because he did almost lose to Bruno Silva. Like, let's not make no mistake about it here. Bruno almost got that one. But it was still such a good fight that he still would have just won 1 or 2 more, and he would have been right back on track, because his fists are doing the talking more so than anything. And Izzy, man, I hate to say it, but he got to wrestle in this fight. But the thing is, he ain't no wrestler, and that might get him knocked out here. I hate to say it, because that's the only event. He cannot stand up with this dude.
It is true, man, because and that's the thing with Israel. He's so tall. He's 6'4". His reach is like 81, 82. And the thing is, he's been beating people like Kelvin Gaston was 5'9". So he's been beating guys a lot shorter than him, man. And he's not as long as him. So the fact that Alex is 6'3", 6'4", long arms, he's not going to be able to stay on the outside and just piece him up, man.
Exactly.
So, and that's what makes it scary, because what happens if Alex start walking him down? He ain't got to worry about no takedowns, man. All you got to do is land a left hook, and he'd be champion. It's like, bro. Like,
and it ain't like the situation with Jared where it's like, well, he can do this and that. Yeah, it's a lot going against you. We talking about somebody who has done it. We ain't talking about somebody who's, you know how we always say, well, if he could just land the right hand, if Patrick Cote could just land the right hand on Anderson, he could do what? Nothing. He ain't even gonna land it. We talking about a situation where it's been done before and it's produced results. Man, I'm looking on Twitter right now. This dude said, and I low-key kind of think this could happen. He said, Pereira beats Izzy. Whitaker beats Costa. And then Whitaker beats Pereira for the belt. I can see that playing out.
I can't do it.
I can see that happening, but I can see a lot of things happening. We'll make another video about that. But since we got to talk about this fight, this is tough, man, because Israel only real advantage is grappling, but he ain't no grappler.
And does he have an advantage? Because we seen Alex been training with Glover. So Alex might go out there and take him down and take his back.
Because it ain't like you got to worry about Izzy. Man, I don't know, this is tough, man, but man, when you really a great fighter, man, you run into situations like this, man, because you couldn't write a better script than this. So for me, I'm going to pick Israel ultimately, because I think that Israel, it's his time. I think that, man, if Alex hadn't beat him and gotten into this sport, we would be bored out of our minds with this division. You know who would be getting a title fight?
Who? Robert Whitaker?
Nah, probably Jack Hermanson for beating Chris Curtis on 10 days notice. Like, the division is so boring. I can't even think of another fight that I actually care about in the middleweight division, and it's always been like that. But I think that this ain't a coincidence, man. This is like, not to get weird here, man, but for that man to beat you 2 times in kickboxing in the circumstances that he did it in, and then because he beat him 2 different ways, and then to come over to this sport and get a title fight and be fighting you, and you need a finish because people are saying that you're boring. They don't want to see you fight no more. It ain't just regular fans. It's celebrities. It's people, bro, paying big money to be there, and they're like, bro, you're boring. It's big name people who are saying, I just don't want to watch this dude fight no more. I don't care how good he is. That's the problem. It ain't exciting. But now you get the chance to correct all your wrongs in one fight. You get to make up for the losses. You get to silence people who've been doubting you. You get to silence people who've been calling you boring. You get to correct things that you have been doing, like the corny stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Correct that. He's still gonna be doing that, man.
Yeah, he ain't gonna never not be corny, but he that guy. So I mean, you don't know. But he get to correct like everything in one fight, and I think, and mark my words, I think he's gonna knock out Alex, and it's gonna start with a left hook. I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now.
Hold on, Israel throwing the left.
Remember how he did Robert Whittaker that first time? I'm calling it.
But Robert got overly aggressive.
I think something gonna happen in the fight with Alex, man. And I just think something crazy gonna happen. And it's gonna happen.
He's gonna have to, man, because
there ain't no other way for him to win.
Yeah, because he ain't gonna outpoint. Alex ain't gonna let you. Okay, you gonna outpoint me? I'm gonna just wait here.
No.
Okay, now let's go.
Imagine if Israel beat Alex for 4 rounds, and Alex knows I got one more round to make to just land one punch. Can you imagine how crazy that'll be? Because he gonna go for it. Now I'm gonna tell you the one downfall for Alex: that cardio. We can't pretend like that cardio hitting. You know, I think he'll be prepared.
The only problem is, I get what you're saying, but he's a kickboxer though.
I know.
So the thing is that when you throw in MMA, wrestling and stuff, that's where the cardio comes into play.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing is with the Bruno Silva fight, Bruno was going for it, and Bruno had won how many fights by knockout in a row? It was crazy, like 11 or something. You know, he was going back and forth. They was going at it, and they both had to be careful, but go at it at the same time and try to win. A lot of nothing can happen to Israel, which will help Alex conserve his cardio. Do you remember how Amanda Lemos and Miranda? It kind of bit Miranda in the butt that she didn't do nothing for them rounds because now Amanda get to keep her power and cardio later in the fight.
So Israel's conservative style can work against him when it comes to cardio.
It's gonna work against him. Imagine if nothing happened for 1 or 2 rounds. That's 1 or 2 rounds that. Think about this, bro. Somebody else would have been trying to get Alex tired and work those arms and make him, you see what I'm saying? Make him go back to his stool and not want to get off the stool to come back to the next round. Yeah. Israel don't fight like that.
Is it me or does Israel circle to his right a whole lot too, man? That's right where that left hook is. He might run right to the left hook.
It's bad, man, because the people who saying that it can't happen, they sound foolish because it's happened before. Yeah. And the people who saying it can happen, they sound foolish because this is a whole nother sport and it's different rules and it's smaller gloves and it's a lot of other stuff going. It's too many factors.
But if it's smaller gloves, then that gives Alex the bigger advantage. This is all he got to do is land one punch.
Yeah, but that means that he got to hit directly though. He can't, since it ain't a bigger glove. Yeah. He got to be spot on and very precise. And Israel ain't gonna be Sean Strickland standing in front of you, just letting you do that.
I think it's Israel gonna gas himself out running around because he's gonna have to.
Because he done that for several fights in a row, running around.
But he got to do it 5 rounds.
But he has done it though. That's what he did it against Jerry. He did it against Robert. He did it against Marvin. He did it against Yoel. He did it against Kelvin. Well, they went to war. He was dancing around against Anderson.
But those guys, Jerry wasn't really doing a whole lot in that fight, man. That's what I'm saying.
But he still had to be moving though, and you still can't make no mistakes. So, I ultimately, man. I don't know how to pick this one, man, but I'm gonna go with Israel just because he's the champion of the UFC. But if Israel going in and get beat by this dude again, I don't know what to say, bro. I really don't know what to say. If you get beat by this dude, you need to go call Ryan Bader for your next training camp and just start wrestling. That's all I can tell you.
It takes time to learn wrestling, and
then his body type ain't made for wrestling either, because wrestlers normally got a certain kind of.
I'm gonna tell you this though, he made for a dark choke though. He's made for that. He's made for a rear naked choke though.
I know.
But Alex is too.
But Alex ain't going for that. Because Alex already ate him up a few different. Alex going for one thing. So he is made for a dark choke.
Another thing is the second. Was it the second fight where he knocked him out?
Yeah.
Israel was winning that fight. So it's like.
But that makes it scary because it's like if you can be winning and just lose at any point, it actually makes it worse for Izzy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, and it's better for Alex because even if you lose a round or two, man, he still can.
But you know what's so crazy, bro? You know what's so wild about this? Andreas fought a better fight than Sean Strickland did. Ain't that crazy? Because he won that first round, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
But he was wrestling too.
It don't matter. He did it, though. And he was way smaller, and I don't even know if he in the UFC no more. And
but Sean do better against Israel. You know what I mean?
No, he wouldn't. Human punching bag. Stop it. But the point is, this is a tough fight, man. I didn't say what I had to say.
Man, I like both guys. It's just Israel. He can't be saying that. Like what he said. He said
he's gonna make it a horror movie.
He's gonna make it a horror. Yeah, the last couple fights have been horror movies. They've been very scary. But at the same time, we know that's Israel's style. He's not a one-punch knockout guy. So it's not his job to go out there and fight a certain way to impress people.
But hey, putting your hands down and doing that Naruto stuff and doing jutsus. Hey, what about that sleep jutsu? Because you don't want to be putting your hands down because it looked like Alex might really got the showering gun. He can see everything you're gonna do and just be there waiting on you.
Yeah, so I think it's the size thing because I'm looking at the stats for the Israel and Jan Blachowicz fight, and he got outstruck. Man, it was
who?
Israel, and I thought it was a lot closer than what it was, but he was just getting beat on the feet too, man. And I think it's because Jan's bigger than a lot of these other guys. Because I'm looking at Alex's size, his stature. He's not Kevin is like 5'8", 5'9". Like Alex is 6'3", 6'4". So it's like he's bigger than it was a picture of him standing next to Dominic Reyes. He was bigger than Dominic Reyes, and Dominic Reyes is like heavyweight. You know what I mean? So I'm saying like that's a big boy that's coming at you, man. So Alex.
What I just thought about.
Talking about his size. I say Kevin Gastelum.
Oh yeah. Dude, Jan Blachowicz gave him problems with the power and the striking because of the one-punch knockout power was the main concern.
Yeah. And
that was just 3 fights ago. And Israel ain't fought that much differently. I mean, all the Marvin, Robert, and Jarrett fight was the same fight. Yeah. So, you know, we can basically say the Young fight was 1 fight ago. Man, if he fight like that against Alex, and he's worried about that one-punch knockout power, I don't know, man. This could be kind of crazy. This could get real ugly. Who's refereeing that fight? That's another thing I got to look at. Who's refereeing that fight? Because if Herb Dean's refereeing that fight, something crazy gonna happen.
And then another thing is Jan throw kicks too, man. Because who has Israel fought against that throws body kicks, head kicks, man? I'm not saying Jan is the best. His technique is the best at throwing kicks, but he has a lot of power in his kicks.
I got a question for you. Do you think Alex gonna kick a lot? Or do you think Alex gonna make it very clear that he's going for the knockout as far as the left hook? Or do you think he's gonna set up other things? Because he did win by flying knee now. We can't pretend like that ain't there and the head. Like that's the crazy thing. We talking about one thing.
Scary, man.
Bro, but this man to knock people out a bunch of different ways.
I can't see him landing flying knee, man. But
what if he hurt him and then Israel back against the cage and then
he can do whatever he wants to Israel once he hurt. Israel can't even get hurt against Alex. I don't think he's gonna throw the head kick, man, because the head kick ain't the fastest. And against Israel, man, you gotta keep everything nice and fast.
But Israel be trying to duck off to the left and to the right. He be having his hands down. Dude, I was concerned when he had his hands down against Jarrett, and Jarrett still no chance.
You might be right, because Alex don't have to worry about no takedowns.
And if you notice something, bro, you ever noticed, bro, that they've been showing a lot of footage of Alex sparring. Have you noticed that? Yeah. And hitting the bag, and that's been going on since the Sean Strickland fight was over. And the only thing they keep showing is him punching. And I'm looking like, we gonna pretend like this man don't throw a bunch of other stuff? Like, are they trying to trick this dude? And because my thought was, and I think Shell said this too, stop showing footage. But when I was looking at the footage, because I felt the same way, like, y'all are showing too much sparring. When you really look at it, it's like, they only showing certain things. He might go in there and might not even throw the left hook. He might go in there and immediately go for a flying knee or just try to chop him down and go for a head kick. Man, anything can happen in this fight. I mean, this is a very unique fight because we've never had a fight where the champion has been largely dominant over everybody else and lapped the division twice over because he didn't beat Robert twice and Robert is better than everybody. He beat Marvin twice and Marvin is better than everybody else. Well, he's not on Robert level, but he's better than everybody else. And then he beat Paulo, and Paulo ain't on Israel's level, but Paulo is better than everybody else. And it's like, he's lapped the division over, man. But now we got somebody coming from a completely different sport, but they have wins, a definitive win over the champion. We have never seen this before, bro, in MMA. But dude, have we ever seen that before?
No.
If Alex was just somebody with knockout power who worked his way up, then this will be easy. I would just say Israel, because why would I pick somebody over the champion and he's been embarrassing y'all? Yeah. But the fact that Alex done beat him when he was winning, he knocked him out of nowhere. When he took him to the decision, they scored it for Alex. It's like, wait a minute, he done beat you both ways, man. But one way he didn't beat you is by submission. If Israel don't go into that bag, and I'm not talking about first round where it's clear, and he can't even do it the second round because old boy tried to do that in the second round and got knocked out of the flying knee, remember?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Israel gonna have to get this fight to the championship rounds. But when he get the fight to the championship rounds, he can't try to outstrike him. He got to try to get him tired. What is Israel gonna do?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, man. What is gonna be his approach? Because if he get too aggressive, he can get knocked out. But then if he don't get aggressive enough,
he still can get knocked out and lose a decision. And people kind of want Alex to win because Israel done gave some boring fights, bro. And he left in the division with boring fights. Like Robert could be the champion right now. And Robert at least go for it. And now we ain't got Robert as a champion or nobody else. And Jared was going for the knockout. He couldn't get it, but he was going for it. Robert was going for it. He just couldn't do nothing. Paulo, I don't know what the hell Paulo was doing, but I don't know, man. This is a very odd fight.
It's going to really shape the landscape of the middleweight division
for a long time.
Because I think if Alex win this fight, then it's going to give Paulo and all of them more confidence.
A chance.
Robert Whittaker is like, oh yeah, I can become champion.
You got to think, man. Paulo and Robert is fighting, so they're going to be looking at this fight like. That's why Marvin is on Twitter begging for a fight, because he's like, I got to get a win. That way I can say I'm right there. Because if Israel loses this fight, they open up the door for somebody else to get an opportunity. But with that being said, man, I think that Israel gonna find a way to get it done. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if he don't get it done in a good way, his legacy is forever damaged. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it'll be able to shake back.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him because he lost in another sport, and he didn't really. He only got one loss in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
In his MMA career, man. So it's unfortunate that he lost to one guy outside of MMA. And if he get that one win over Israel, then it can really hurt his legacy. It's not really fair, but I mean, I understand why it's like that.
But I think Izzy's gonna step up to the plate, man. I think he's gonna step up to the plate some kind of way and get it done. But this got to be the fight of his life, man. What if they go and give us the fight of the year and they really go to war?
Ooh, man, that's the thing. If Israel go out there and say if Israel lose, but he put on a good fight or put on a good show, nobody cares.
You right.
But if you go out there, bro, and try to play like
the Jared fight again,
the Jared fight,
or the Robert, or the
pull
Marvin,
the trigger,
then
it's like, bro, like your career is over, man.
It does more damage for Israel to win in the same way he beat these people than for him to lose and actually try.
But then again, he had a W over Alex, so it's like I don't know. I'm 50-50 with that because if he fights Bourne and win, that's still a win. Nobody cares. But if he fights Bourne and lose. If he try to fight Bourne and get knocked out trying to fight Bourne.
I'm not saying in fighting Bourne don't mean fight. No, don't fight reckless and get knocked out. But when Israel fight people, it look like a glorified sparring match. It don't even look like a fight. You got people who don't have no striking who be trying to do more than that. Rodolfo be trying to swing for the fences. Am I lying?
No.
You got people who don't have no type of jiu-jitsu. I mean, you got jiu-jitsu people with no striking who look like they actually try to. If I could just land, I could just, bro, look at Bilal. Bilal just gained a whole bunch of fans because it's like, he didn't go out there and fight reckless against Sean Brady. Because obviously you don't want to get clipped by Sean. I know he ain't a wrestler, but he's still a big, strong guy. And you don't want to open yourself up to takedowns. But Bilal was able to kind of get through that little first part and then kind of break him down and do what he needed to do. Fight intelligently, but handle business. But it's a lot of pressure. It's easy for us to say what Israel got to do, but man, this is a legacy fight.
I don't know what he need to do, to be honest.
I don't see what he can do. I'm just going for him just because I don't want him to see. I don't want to see his legacy. I don't want his legacy to go out the window like that, man. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm thankful for Alex Pereira. I am so grateful for Alex, man. And it ain't because of wanting to see Israel lose or nothing like that. I want to see the dude do good. I like Israel because outside of MMA, he's a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? And regular guys don't really win a lot in life, man. Like a regular anime guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cracking jokes, A lot of times you got to put on the front like you this tough guy and this, that, and the third. You got to do all that to really win. And Israel is just a normal guy who just handle his business, and he, you know, as far as winning, it ain't the way we want to, but he's taking care of his legacy. And I like that. But it's made it very boring for that middleweight division. That middleweight division is suffocating. It needs to come up for air. And Alex Pereira is doing it. He's actually making people care. I told you, man, you can go down the list of middleweights. We're going to go to the list of middleweights right here, man. And let's see here. Let's see. Bro, the next best exciting fight that you can find. Look on here. We can't see this again. Over with. That's what happened. Don't want to see that. 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 Don't want to see. Dude, there is nothing else. There is literally nothing else. Hold on. Maybe RoboCop.
Israel do just enough to. Alex a better version of RoboCop.
Yeah. On the feet. Not overall. Now, overall, it ain't even close. But, man, there's literally nobody else.
RoboCop may be able to hurt some dude and then submit something. Low key. Because he can't, I don't think he can knock nothing out. Not nobody in the top 5, but he definitely hurt them and get them out of there.
That's actually very interesting. And Israel was talking about that like a week ago.
Oh, it's another guy named, what's the guy named Andre?
Yeah, man, but nobody, bro,
he's dangerous, man.
I'm sorry, but dude, when Uriah Hall didn't pull the trigger on him, and I know Israel can do a little bit more than that, and then Uriah ain't never been submitted. Hold on, no, he ain't, because he gonna look at the Uriah Hall fight and do everything that Uriah didn't do. But the point is, dude, there is nobody else in the division that it makes sense to make that fight happen. I mean, there's nobody else in the division to make a fight for Israel. It's over. The whole middle, you got Israel, and you literally have the rest of the division in the whole world that don't nobody want to see you fight nobody. That's super boring. But if Alex becomes the champion, oh boy, that turns things around quite a bit.
He may have other guys dropping down to what weight.
Hey, he gonna drop him one way or the other. But what's your final prediction?
Man, dang, I'm gonna have to go with Alex, man. He won twice outside MMA. That affects you psychologically. Psychologically, when you lose one person, like I said, like he's in the same boat as Max Holloway versus Volkanovski, man. It's just, and then we've seen fights where Israel was winning and he got knocked out. We've seen fights where he was actually, when he won a decision, they didn't give it to him. So it's like, it's not like a lot Israel can do to Alex. And
it'll be more lucrative for the UFC to give a close decision to Alex. That way they can get a rematch and sell that mug for June. And the pay-per-view gonna cost $200 piece. But nah, dude, that would be a very marketable situation there. And we know they can, they can cook it up. They can cook it up. So, hey, we'll see what happens.